Always repping.
We got a lot of work to do.
Oh, yeah.
We got a lot.
Long road.
We got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Brian Windhorst, of course, Stephen A. What's going on, guys? Good morning.
What's going on? Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing?
I'm
What up,
fabulous.
PC?
What up? What up?
All right, it's Friday Eve. Let's get into it, fellas. As I mentioned, LeBron James wasn't all good, though. Missed back-to-back three-point attempts. That would have likely forced overtime as the Charlotte Hornets escaped with a 197 road win over the Lakers last night. LeBron missed Sunday's All-Star game. It was controversial due to his left ankle and foot discomfort. He's now adjusting to his new superstar teammate. Here's Luka.
Obviously, it's going to take a little time. Today, a lot of rustiness for my part. So, start the game with like 4 or 5 turnovers. That can't happen. So, it's got to, play the basketball the right way.
This is his third game since Christmas, and it's his third game with us in the sense of just trying to. He still doesn't know all the plays. He doesn't know all the defensive coverages, all the signals and things that we've built since September. So. Obviously, we were trying to fast track it on the fly. He's coming back from his injury. He's getting back into form, so we're all working through it together.
LeBron looking lean there. S.A., how much pressure is on King James now?
I think to some degree, and it's for different reasons, Wendy, CC. When you look at LeBron James, we got to consider the noise that has transpired. Fair or unfair, the noise is real. From the standpoint, on one side, Wendy and I will debunk that when people are talking about he had to know something about Anthony Davis trade before it took place. And, ultimately it was something he was silent about. And then next thing you know, Anthony Davis ends up getting traded to Dallas. Luka is arriving in L.A. LeBron obviously doesn't ask out, wants to stay, et cetera, et cetera. You got a lot of conspiracy theorists out there who believe that. I don't hold much water to that. Neither does Wendy, as we've articulated on this show. But there's a flip side to it as well. When you look at All-Star Weekend and the last-minute scratch and people talking about his injury, you got people out there talking about he did it on purpose because he wanted to snub his nose at the NBA. He didn't appreciate the fact that a lot of the stuff had happened. He felt like the Lakers and the league had to have known what was transpiring before it led up to the trade of Anthony Davis. Ultimately, Anthony Davis was moved. LeBron James, obviously, you have to defer to Luka to some degree. This is his franchise moving forward. And LeBron, being LeBron, wanted to use it as an opportunity to really make some noise and show the league who the hell he is and remind everybody of who he is. I don't hold much weight to that either. But the reason why the noise is relevant is because you expect this team to look good with LeBron and Luka. We don't expect them to be formidable defensively. We don't expect their front line to step up and all of a sudden be able to handle business against the Anthony Davis and Nikola Jokic's of the world and others. We know that they're deficient there. But offensively, you expect them to be a juggernaut. Offensively, you expect them to wreak havoc and make some noise. And obviously, with LeBron James looking the way that he looked, not getting any younger, but miraculously at the age of 40 in his 22nd season, looking as exceptional as he has looked, you certainly don't expect this team to go in an opposite direction from where they were going before the trade. And so we're looking at all of that right now. And in that regard, fair or unfair, again, it always is going to fall on the shoulders of LeBron James. And that's why I say there's some pressure in that regard.
Wendy?
I think you're right that there's always pressure on him, but I actually think that he's in a great spot because it's really not about him. And while that was a culture shock and something that he didn't see coming, and we've already said, so I will reiterate what Stephen A. said, LeBron didn't know. And Anthony Davis didn't know, and Rich Paul didn't know. In fact, Rich Paul gave an interview yesterday with Gilbert Arenas, and he said, I was glad I didn't know. And by the way, you can't tell LeBron without it going to AD. You can't tell Rich Paul without it going to LeBron. You can't tell AD without it going to Rich Paul and LeBron. So I believe it. I don't think there's a conspiracy theory, but we'll move past that. I don't think there's pressure on LeBron. This is now about Luka Doncic. The pressure's on Luka. The Lakers, one of the number one brands in the entire sporting planet, has put their future and their present in Luka. You want to know how I know they believe in the present in Luka? Because they went out and tried to make a trade for Mark Williams when they could have made that trade any time in the last year and didn't do it. They didn't do it for LeBron and AD, and I know it got rescinded, but they don't do that deal unless they're 100% invested in Luka. The pressure is on Luka. LeBron doesn't have to prove anything, and now it's not even really his franchise anymore. It's Luka's franchise. They're going to cater to him. In fact, I think what the Lakers are going to end up having to do in the short term here is get Luka to accept that the franchise is about him. Because if you look at these last few games, and it's not surprising at all, but he's totally deferring. He's standing on the side. He's passing it off to Austin Reeves. He's passing it off to LeBron. He's standing on the side. This is a guy who averaged 34 points last year. 34. He has not cracked 16 in 3 games, okay? This is a guy who is used to having everything revolve around him, who is actively not involved in offense and being a ball mover. That's not who he's going to be. The pressure is eventually going to be on him. Okay, it's not going to happen when he's coming off of an injury. It's not going to happen in the first days. But, this is all about Luka. LeBron can take a bit of a break and not have to worry as much as he had in the past.
Well, you guys are being reasonably minded, and you're giving a rational outlook in terms of what the Lakers' plan is going to be, not just in the here and now, but for the foreseeable future. But damn it, I'm a Lakers fan, and I ain't trying to be rational with this, especially when we got 2 top 10 players in the world, and both guys individually being more than capable of being able to carry a team to the championship rounds, being in the Final Four. And so when I'm asked the question about pressure being on LeBron James, there's always going to be pressure on him. But what I would say, based on the product that we're seeing on the court, it's too much damn pressure on LeBron James. Last night's loss to the Charlotte Hornets, that wasn't LeBron James's fault. The guy went for 26, 11, and 7, and he's 40 years old. He put Mark Williams on a poster. He played great last night. It ain't LeBron James's fault that Luka was a turnstile for LaMelo Ball. It's not LeBron James's fault that Rui Hachimura misses 2 free throws down the stretch. It's not LeBron James' fault that Austin Reeves gets kicked out in the third quarter. And it's not LeBron James's fault that the team missed 10 straight shots when the Hornets went on a 22-1 run in the beginning of the fourth quarter. All of those things ain't on LeBron James. And so I do think that the Lakers I'm not saying that anybody is saying it is. What I'm saying is when it comes to what's happening on the court right now and the Lakers trying to maintain their standing in the Western Conference, there is too much pressure on LeBron James to continue to perform at that level and not enough help around him. Luka Doncic has to be better.
There has to be help around him. There's no doubt about that. But in the same breath, he's a guy that's going to have to be able to close because this is the latter part of his career. Time is running out. No matter how ageless he appears to be, 40 is 40. And we all know something about Father Time that LeBron James may not know as of yet, believe it or not. It may be the one thing we know about him that he doesn't even know yet. Father Time doesn't creep up on you. It slams you. It slams you. Yep. All of a sudden, you wake up one day and, damn, I just ain't what I used to be. It's not something where there's a gradual decline. It's a precipitous fall. It's a plummet. And that's the one thing that we know, the one thing on the planet Earth that we know about whether it's professional athletes or just by being a man. It ends. It hits you, and it doesn't give you any indication. Well, I'm just not what I used to be. No, you wake up one day and like, damn, it's over. Just like that. And so we have to make sure we take that into consideration when we're looking at LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers and recognize the fact that, this is every opportunity is a prime opportunity because you don't know where it's going to end. Because even though Luka is the future, there is no question about that. The reality is that the way LeBron James is playing, he is now. And the Lakers got to figure out a way